World leaders at the G7 summit in Cornwall attend a lavish reception hosted by Queen Elizabeth. The focus on climate change. Earlier at the summit, world leaders discussed plans to donate 1 billion COVID vaccines to poorer countries. A teenager who filmed the murder of George Floyd is given a special journalism award by the Pulitzer Prize Board. Thousands of demonstrators in Spain call for an end to violence against women after the discovery of a young girl's body causes outrage. And an emphatic win for Italy in the opening match of Euro 2020 as they beat Turkey 3-0.
Politicians in Pakistan are threatening penalties for those refusing COVID vaccinations in an effort to push more people to get a jab. The Health Ministry in Punjab says SIM cards belonging to unvaccinated residents will be blocked. In Sindh, government employees will only be paid if they've had the vaccine. COVID infections have fallen dramatically in Pakistan, but officials want the vaccination campaign to gather pace. Around 10 million doses have been administered so far. Regulators in the US have ruled that 60 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine will need to be discarded because of suspected contamination. The doses were produced in a factory in Baltimore operated by Emergent Biosolutions, where federal regulators have been conducting a review over the course of several weeks. The Secretary of State for the US state of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, has said election workers are continuing to receive threats over last year's presidential election result. In a tweet, Mr. Raffensperger said false claims that the election had been stolen had led to threats of violence or death.
And final results from a scientific trial in Indonesia to combat dengue fever show it can be sharply reduced by a technique using bacteria. Scientists released millions of mosquito eggs infected with the bacteria, which is harmless to humans but prevents the insects from passing on dengue. Results show a 77% cut in infections. Right, let's take you now to Hong Kong. Significant news there. We have the pro-democracy activist Agnes Chow being released from prison after serving nearly 7 months for her role in an unauthorised assembly during the city's 2019 anti-government protests. You may remember these pictures coming in very recently from Hong Kong, as you can see there. Details coming from Reuters. If you don't remember her, she's 24 years old. She's an activist and works a lot with Joshua Wong for many years now and is seen as a hero by many of her supporters in Hong Kong and has supporters right around the world, Japan particularly as well. And she was arrested specifically, but we now know she's been released from prison. She's been an activist back since 2014, the Umbrella protests. You remember there were a movement fighting for universal suffrage voting rights in Hong Kong and has been a familiar face of the protests ever since then. And she's been in prison, but now just been released there.